Hey, how are you all doing? My name is Sterling Wright, Senior. I'm from Sherwood Valley Rancheria, and I thought I'd play a little bit. This is one I wrote. I call it Melanie. Hey there, Melanie, won't you walk into the light? Then you'll say Hey. I got one more for you. Let's liven up just a little more. Uno, dos, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah. Here we go. About the things she saw, had 2 big horns and a woolly Motel 7 and learn to dance. Bully, 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 bully. Yeah. Thank you.
A small, can you see this? I can't see it myself. Oh, here it is. My camera's slow or something here. Can you see it now?
Yeah, I can see it better. Yeah.
Okay, there you go. That's a small painting of Ishi that I painted because I read the story on him, and I decided to make a little sketch of him. It's a little oil painting about. This is very small. It's only 5 inches by 7 inches, and I made some scratch board paintings, drawings. I mean. Let's see if I can get these up here. That's too big, too big.
There we go. Looking good.
All right. Got it? Okay. Okay, that's Pomo basket weaving hands. Scratch board, where you take a little tool and just scratch out the black on a black, that's ink covered board, and scratch out all that until you come on picture. Okay, on the other side, is Jim Thorpe. Portraits are my actually what I do mostly of. Okay, that's another scratch board. It's pretty hard. The camera thing here is not working all that great.
It's all right. We still see it.
Doing the best I can with it.
It looks great.
Okay. This here is a pen and ink that I designed for the California Indian Museum for the acorn. They were going to use that, but then I don't know if they ever decided to use it. It was for their acorn bar. That designed that for them. But just a little pen and ink that I did, and they chose it. They said they were going to use it, but that I don't know if they ever did. Okay. And I have various designs for that I was going to go and do some bead work. I have several of these moccasins that I was going to do some bead work on, that I designed my drawings on them. Boy, this is really difficult to show. I got to get the hang of this here.
There it goes.
Okay, really difficult. But anyway, this was an idea that I had, that I was going to do some bead work here. I was taking a class and I was going to do some bead work. Because artistically, it doesn't matter what it is. I want to try it, you know. There's another one.
3 days late, back to Maysville. I sent a telegram to Mr. Racker.
Okay. In any case, that's the idea. I have several more, but it's so difficult to show you. In any case, I have this is an oil painting of let's see if we can get that up there. Will Sampson. Okay. That's an oil painting, 11 by 14, I believe. Yeah. 11 by 14 oil painting.
Excellent work, excellent.
But my main thing is I wanted to cover was my newest painting. Which is about Kelsey and Stone, which I think needs to be addressed here. And I wrote a thing about it here. Here is basically what I've made about. This is the what I've done so far, more or less so far. Here on this corner here is going to be the plaque. And this is a Stone running. This is the Indians that are going to be chasing the Pomos, and this is going to be the one that shot him. And here's the arrow going through him. Okay, and I don't know how much controversy this is going to cause. But in any case, this is the painting. It's 18 by 24, which I haven't finished. It's got a long ways from being finished. Anyway, that's as far as I've gotten so far on it. I got a ways to go on it here. In any case, this is what I wrote about it. Okay, my inspiration for this painting is the outrageous fact that Andrew Kelsey and Charles Stone, the two men who brutalized our people, and the audacity of whomever named a town after the monster Andrew Kelsey. Kelseyville is an insult to every Pomo Indian living and dead to this day. As long as the name of the town remains on our maps, it will remain a sign of white privilege as much as the Confederate flag and any Southern general statue is. The name of the town and the plaque was created at a time when minorities' opinions didn't need to be considered, consulted, or be concerned about. This is my first but not my last attempt to memorialize the person who tortured, raped, brutally mistreated our tribes during colonialism of California. My paintings are a small act to try to rewrite the misinformation and give a voice, however small, to the Pomo tribes, and hopefully bring some balance to the narrative and not have just the white man's side heard and seen in their monuments and stories. There was a time white America could do anything they wanted with and to the native population, such as enslave, subjugate, and kill at their will and many did, without retaliation from the authorities of the time. I chose to start my series with the pomos that had enough and rose up against these two despicable vermin, Kelsey and Stone, and ended their lives and reign of terror on our people. The reason I decided on this scene was it showed that the Indian people were not sheep that were capable of standing up for themselves when things got intolerable, because people who were not faced with this situation at that time would ask the question as to why wouldn't they do something to stop the persecution. This is what they did. Some time later, I will be depicting the consequences of their actions in a painting or maybe sculpture. I'm surprised that no other artisan has spoken out with their art, with a song, a poem, or a drawing or painting before now. Either I haven't seen it or it doesn't
I can't
exist.
hear anyhow. Melody's on there.
The painting,
Kenneth, you got muted. Could you click the mute button? Okay.
He's looking down.
Hey, Kenneth, could you hit the mute button? I can't hear you. There we go. That's good.
oh, okay. Somehow I got muted. Somebody muted me here. I did it. One of the two. Okay, where did I leave off at here? Okay. Okay, did I read? I'm surprised that no other artisan has spoken out with their art, with a song, a poem, or a drawing, or a painting before now. Either I haven't seen it or it doesn't exist. The painting is as accurate as I can make it with the sparse information that's available in articles I've read. They all have differences as to who was there and who did what, and some similarities in each of the stories. So I've condensed them in my painting due to the embellishing of the story after so many retelling over the many years. So I'm using artistic license and using my own best judgment. This is going to be a difficult painting because there are no pictures of the people involved in the scene I'm depicting, not even a picture of the area the incident took place. Most of the work is from my imagination, although I feel lucky I have a picture of Ben Kelsey, so I'm using his likeness for Andrew Kelsey. I also want to include one of the plaques with the information on the lower right-hand corner of the painting. I think it's important to tie the whole idea together. I'm not sure how I'll do it because I want it to look as close to the original 2005 plaque as possible. I'm using an 18 by 24 stretch canvas on oil paints. I like to work outside in the light, but the weather is too cold so it doesn't look like I'll finish until the weather warms up a little more. I've stalled until then. Like most artists, my work is an extension of my opinions on life, although not all of my work is a message. There is some of it that does to an artist. His work is another language. What I hope is that tribal members will appreciate my effort to bring to light this atrocity that is still a thorn in the side and a slap in the face of every Pomo still living. My painting will last long after I am gone from this earth, and I want it to be as much a symbol of as the 1942 Sons of the Golden West Bloody Island plaque. Okay, anyway, that's what I had to say about the painting that I'm making. And that's what it's about, and that's what I'm working on. And that's, like I said, this says, just to get it clear. Okay, there's the plaque right here that I'm trying to, that I would like to try to incorporate into the painting. And like I said, That was Andrew. This is Stone here. And this is supposedly Kelsey, which is Ben. Actually, a picture of Ben. I have a picture of Ben. See, I have a picture of him. He was no saint either, so I'm not going to hurt anything. I made many sketches before I got into it.
Mhm.
Okay, well, anyway, that's what I had. Anyway, that's the gist of my artwork and my
Kenneth, well, we thank you for sharing with us. Appreciate you showing up.
okay. Thank you everyone for listening to me rant here.
All right. We got Natalie.
Hi.
Whenever you're ready.
Hey, Gabe.
Hey, Ray. We're ready for Natalie to show us her skills.
Oh yeah, hold on. Well, she didn't want to stop writing, but Natalie's gonna jump a giant, humongous jump.
Yeah, no
Hold
worries.
on, we're gonna turn she's coming around though here. She didn't want to stop writing. She's like, every time she went over, she's like, did they see it? I'm like, not yet. So here they go.
So this is Natalie. She's gonna jump her.
One of her bikes. Hold on, let's see.
Let me.
I'll just hold it. How do you put it? Here she comes on the green bike.
Nice.
She just started riding a dirt bike 3 months ago. Oh yeah, and then here's he just went by. And there's her brother on his little electric bike. He's 2 years old. But she's gonna come around one more time and jump. Yeah, she just learned how to ride a bicycle probably in September. She's 7, and she just keeps wanting to ride dirt bikes. So here we'll do one more jump. Here she comes. All right, there we go. Natalie, that's Natalie on her dirt bike doing some jumps.
Thank you guys, we appreciate it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right, Brandon, if you're ready, you can play your guitar. I know you still have 5 minutes, but if you're on the Zoom, you could start playing whenever you're ready. So we'll wait a couple minutes. We got Brandon Schmidt coming up next. He's gonna play the guitar for us. He just needs a couple minutes to log on. Yeah. Way to go, Brandon.
Sorry
Sorry about that first recording. I probably screwed it up myself.
I was already playing.
Okay, you need to warm up.
Yeah, it was a big warm up.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Sorry, Aunt Patty, is that too loud for you? She was holding her ears. Oh, she's frozen now. Oops.
Still my time. Still go.
I don't know. I don't know where you at,
Yeah.
Gabe. Where you at,
Give us
Gabe?
one more.
Uh-oh, we lost him. Oh, there you are.
Give us one more.
One more?
More for me.
Did I hear somebody request the blues? Just kidding.
Yes.
No, he's heavy metal. He's metal.
Going out of tune, I better stop.
Oh,
Yes.
we appreciate it. Thank you,
Good.
Brandon. Way to shred it, bro.
Oh,
He just got
whoa.
this new guitar.
So nice.
Yeah, he just got that one, but it's not too.
Is it a bass or a? Wow. Oh, yeah, I see it now.
Same as this.
It's really hard to see though. I can't see it. Can you pick it up?
That's nice. Yeah.
He just learned this during the pandemic too.
Wow.
Wow. Amazing.
Impressive.
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, thank you. We appreciate it.
Joey.
Yeah, thanks for
Thank you
listening.
guys.
Thanks for
Yeah.
listening.
Here, jump on this one. I'm gonna jump off and go onto the candidates form, but I'll be
Okay.
back.
See you later.
Bye.
All right, Melody, whenever you're ready, you're up next.
Am I on now? Yes, okay, great. I had to go and get some stuff. So I'm Melody Williams, and I wanted to share not how to make a baby basket, pomo baby basket, but just the preparation for it after gathering. So, and anybody can say what, you can say whatever you want, like Buffy, because as many basket weavers as there are, that's how many different processes there are. So everybody does it differently, because once you start making a basket, you want to make the process as simple for you as you can. So everybody does it differently. So let me see, I'm going to take off my background because it's all blurry. There you go. Okay, so this morning I went out and I gathered. This is pretty because this is to the floor and I'm like 5 feet, so you can see it's almost 5 feet, but you need at least 3 feet to make a baby basket, but 4 feet is good, 5 feet. So they need to be pretty long because you're going to fold them up. So this is how they look. So right now, they don't have any leaves, so it's a good time to pick it or gather it. And then spring's coming, so I see the buds that are starting to show leaves, and so those are coming out now. So it's almost time to stop gathering it. And then, of course, after, kind of toward the end of spring, you'll gather again with the leaves on, but then you strip the leaves off and take the bark off. And then, of course, that's just as good as well. So you can gather 2 times, like now, no leaves, and then spring when they do have leaves. So the first thing you do, baby basket. This is a baby basket my son made. One of his first ones. So he's doing that, and he's probably made about 5 now. And this is a real cute one. It was made by my auntie. She put some color in there, and I put a little baby in there. And I also have these ones. I think these ones are made by Buffy. They're earrings. Aren't those cute? Oh, that's kind of stuck, but they're little. So, and then I have even smaller ones that were made by my auntie Bonnie. She was at Hopland. She's gone now. So these are they're so tiny, but they're perfect because she did, she did the whole stitch and everything around them. So they can go from, baby size all the way down to real tiny. Okay, so the first thing after you gather, of course, you have to process them while they're green, because once they get dry, it's going to be real hard to get the bark off. But really, before you start all that, you take a t-shirt, and any t-shirt, I take old t-shirts. So here's an old one. And I know my mom, this one's old. It says 2017, but I can tell it's old and stained up. And she likes to hang on to them, but they're perfect for this. So what you do is you start at the bottom of the t-shirt and you cut it. So what you do is you're going to rip it like this all the way around. And if you're lucky, it will just go round and round, because there's no seams on t-shirt. It'll just go round and round, and you just keep on going until you get to up under the arms. Okay, design and all doesn't matter. So after you're done ripping up the whole t-shirt, then you're going to take it and you're going to wrap it. So you're going to have a ball, and you'll have balls, and sometimes they'll tear off because you're not on the grain, but you just wind them up and you have these balls, because you're going to need these to wrap the willow sticks. So when you have your balls, I have a bunch of balls laying around. So then you're going to take your stick, and this one's stripped, because I showed you the other ones. And then you have I have little pocket knife. So you're going to strip the bark off. And like now, I just gathered these this morning, so they're green and easy. So if you see, once you start strip, I'll show you this one part right here. See, they come off, it comes off real easy, and you just like peel it off. And you do that the whole way, and it peels off real easily. So, sometimes you don't have time to work on them, but I would say within that week, I get to them and I do everything. I do all the sticks that I gather within that week, because once they dry, this part, see how easy that was? Once this part, once the stick gets dry, then it's so hard. Okay, so once you take off all the bark, then some of them are going to be the back of the basket. And as you can see, back of the basket, this is the bottom part right here is folded. And so, and you'll see that it's folded and it comes up the back and it's gathered into that stitch. So you have the sides. I'll show you, we're gonna bend the sides, but then you also need it for the back. So while you're here, after you strip it and it's still green, what you want to do is take your knife and just trim it right here to make this not so thick, because what you're gonna do, you're gonna bend it up, and that's what's gonna go in the back. And what I do, these ones aren't stripped. I know it's gonna make it better, but these ones aren't stripped ones because sometimes you use unstripped willow. So what I do when they're still green, I wrap it around a stick like this and tie them all down so they'll be straight, and this will be the back. But that's the easy way to do it. So you want to strip that. So, so what I do is I take 4 at a time. Some people take more, but I just do 4, and that's how my auntie taught me. But so you have the 4 that, and these are a little bit smaller than the other ones, but they're stripped of the bark, and I did that this morning. So when you bend them, you want to take 2 and turn it opposite direction. And I cut them to be the same size. So, but when you line them up, you want them to all be, you know, like the same width. You see that? They're all kind of the same width. Because if you had all the fat ends on one side, it would be wider. And if you had all the skinny ends on one side, it would be, you know, not as wide. So this kind of evens it out when you do fat, skinny, fat, skinny. And that's when you make the basket, that's how it's lined up on the side. Okay, so after you strip it, flip it to, you take your ball of the t-shirt material, and you're gonna put a little knot right here. Okay, on one end. And then you're gonna spin it like this all the way down. See, like that. And that's why you want to try and get the t-shirt to rip in one long ball. And because once you, for the first time, and then once you start using it and you cut it, because I'm going to cut it because I don't need the whole ball, then you can reuse it, and it's always about the right size that you need for your next sticks. Okay, so it's all wrapped. You see that? Now, if you know anything about willow, once willow dries, it's like cement. It's hard. But at this point, it's green, so it's flexible. And this is why you do it now. So once you have it, and I kind of did smaller sticks. So you'll see what I do. So you put it on your belly, and then you're going to slowly, slowly, slowly bend it. And be very careful because you don't want it to, any of them to crack. So you just bend it slowly like that. And you remember you have this extra bit of t-shirt here. So when you bend it slowly, slowly, slowly. So then you have, now see, this is not very good right here because I don't know why. One of them might have bent. But anyway, try it again this way. Oh yeah, one of them broke. Okay, so when you bend it, yeah, one of them cracked. Oh, that's too bad because I was trying to be perfect. Anyway, so you bend it, bend it, bend it. And then once you get to that point, you just take your t-shirt material and you wrap it around. And so here you are, and you're making it into the shape of the baby basket. You can see that. Yeah. And then you just wrap it around here and then tie another knot. So there you go. And then you need at least for a regular size baby basket, probably you need 50 sticks. So, and it depends on how thick it is too. So if your sticks are real thick, of course, less, but if they're thinner, which is better because they'll be lighter, then you'll need more. So here, this is 4. And so I have a bunch, you know, I mean, you just keep gathering. And I'll show you these ones. So I, you know, the willow I gathered because now I want to thin it out where it is because it'll grow back longer, stronger, straighter. So I do cut other sizes too. So here are various sizes. Do you see how they're kind of small, smaller? So I don't waste any of the willow sticks, and I just use everything that I gather to make the baby basket. And I also use the willow to make coil basket, but those ones have to be much, much smaller, maybe this size. And you can see how small that is, much smaller, because inside the coil basket, you need to use that. But the bigger ones are for here. And let's see. So then you let it dry, because as you can tell, it's green, right? It's really green. And let me see where my other basket. Oh, so once you let it dry, it's going to be real brown. And you can tell, let me see if these ones, yeah. So green, you can tell this is the one I just wrapped this morning. See how green it is, as compared to you let it dry for a year or so. Up here, I'm in Humboldt County where it's pretty wet. So see how brown it is. Let's see how brown that is. So that's what happened. That's the difference. It's a really pretty brown, if you can tell. And then, I mean, it looks white and you think, yeah, the basket is white, but really it isn't. Once it's dried, it's going to be this color, which is really pretty. I really like that. So I started one recently. A lot of times a girl baby basket is just all peeled. And then the boy basket is more unpeeled. So this one, I was just putting my design in like this, just because it's just going to be a doll one. So you see how it's bent up. I took them all apart. They're bent, and like I said, once they dry, they're really, really hard. And then of course the stitch. I don't know the name of this stitch. Buffy might know the name of it. So that's it. That's yeah. So if anybody has any questions, you can ask me, but that's my process, and that's how I do it. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Melanie.
Beautiful.
All right. So, Angela, you are next whenever you are ready.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, you're perfect. We can hear you.
Okay, hi. So let's see. I was actually, if y'all know Travis Wright, we were just talking, and I just like hung up on him because I heard my name being called. But he's still here. He's his username is Cocoa Bean. So he's not feeling well. So please keep Travis in your prayers. But I always get nervous coming on, but I also get really excited for opportunities to meet, different Native communities. So I'm going to introduce myself, and today I'll be sharing a story and a song. So I've always felt naturally that I could talk a lot, and I always got in trouble for it growing up. But my mom, she used to tease me. She's like, "You're going to be a storyteller when you grow up. Like, you just like to talk." So that's what I hope that you all will join me. I'm going to share a story about a time when I took my first trip to New Zealand, or what's called a toria, as the Maori people call it there. So I've also been taught to introduce myself in my native language. So I'm going to start with that. So Dagot es she Angela Noah Gonze, Dishibako Arizona Getna Shaw. I Zithlagai Saan and Dan Shli, Shema Geneva Chris Noah Gonze, University of Oregon Yukushtuk Public Policy Nonprofit Management Bush Ahua. So good afternoon. My name is Angela Noah. And what I said was I'm from Sibique, Arizona. I am a member of the White Mountain Apache tribe. My mother is Geneva Christnoa. I'm a sophomore at the University of Oregon, and I'm studying public policy and nonprofit management. I'm the current reigning Miss Indian University of Oregon. I have my sash with me, but not my crown. It's still being beaded. So I'm looking forward to having my first official outing as Miss Indian U of O, but still here and willing to just, still take up space. The program is so new on my campus, and I'm honored to, be the second one. So I would like to take time to thank Bonnie Lockhart, Travis Wright, and Gabe for inviting me and hosting this virtual event. I'm always encouraged and inspired when neighboring Native communities find ways to gather, especially virtually, and are open about their experiences. And I've seen a lot of talent and passions just being on this call. But today I would like to take you on a journey of an experience I had when I took my first international trip alone outside of the United States. This trip would inspire and give me hope in ways I never imagined. The story is about a CBQ White Mountain Apache girl who travels to an outdoor school in Nelson, New Zealand. This trip took place 2 winters ago. A fun fact about New Zealand is that it's in another hemisphere. This means that it's already tomorrow in New Zealand, and instead of winter, it's summer, so opposite seasons occur. I will also be sharing a song that was taught to me from a mentor on this trip. And this song has roots of the indigenous Māori language and reflects the strong representation I felt deeply connected to when I was a guest and backpacking on their lands. The Māori are the indigenous people of New Zealand, and they call it Artoria, and that means the land of the long white cloud. So this is my story. And I have my phone propped up here, and I'm gonna play some New Zealand bird sounds because I feel that it goes with my story. So I'm gonna start that now. And it'll play in the background, but okay, so let's go. It's a hot summer day above alpine elevation. I am on a crew of 10 and the only Native American on this crew. My team and I are backpacking for 30 days. It's day 29. I lace up my boots and I can feel blisters and calluses that had formed on my feet. I'm exhausted. I think of how hot it gets in Phoenix, Arizona, the city close to my res, and I think it's definitely hotter here than it is there. My team leaders ask if I am ready to start the trek downhill. We are descending from the mountaintops as we are nearing our last days of the trip. I put on my 60-pound back on my back and tighten the straps. Here we go, Angela, I think to myself. I am wearing a long screen sleeve sun shirt and long pants with boots covered by gaiters, and they keep my feet dry because we pass through a lot of streams and rivers. I also have a tin hat with a chin strap. The sun shirt protects me from getting bad sunburn, and the long pants protects me from the bushes we walk through. In New Zealand backcountry, there are hardly trails that are maintained, so you barely see the trails as they're no longer than a foot wide. My crew and I start the long trek downhill. Going downhill is not as hard as going uphill. My crew and I began to sing songs to pass time. We sing songs from Katy Perry and even Disney songs to make each other laugh. I admire the different plants I see on the trail. New Zealand is an island of birds, and if I close my eyes, I can listen and count 6 different bird songs happening at once. I am gripping my trekking pole as we make progress through bushes and trees entering shade, which help us cool down. And my mind starts to wander again. I think of the first thing I'm going to eat when I get back into society. Would it be an Indian taco when I get back to Oregon? Or would it be a big juicy burger with a chocolate milkshake? Living out of a pack that you carry on your back for 20 days takes a toll on you. I missed having showers. I did not have my cell phone on me, so I was not connected to things like Twitter or Facebook or Instagram. I began to think about the scenery New Zealand had offered. I recall being 1,300 kilometers above alpine elevation and how fast the clouds moved when you're up that high. I went without flushing toilets and showers, but eating lunch on a ridge overlooking tall and leaping mountain ranges topped that for me. And I gained so much muscle. and I felt strong both physically and mentally. 6 hours passed by, and soon my crew and I will need to pitch a tent for the night. It is one of the last nights we will be sleeping under the stars in our backcountry tents. My team and I are all proud of each other. We did it. We had moments of doubt and we struggled, but we climbed mountains and cooked delicious meals on a tiny whisper stove. We howled like wolves at the moon next to hidden lakes and shared stories of our past. I won't lie, I struggled on that crew, and I was the slowest hiker on my team. I did months of preparation in the gym before this trip to get my body ready, but it still took a lot for me to push on every day. I cried, I fell numerous times, but I always got back up. Currently, I am living in my first apartment pursuing college during a global pandemic. And in times of strength and uncertainty, when I need courage, I will pull out my backpacking pack and I will recall the songs with the Māori language that I know as a welcoming song. My team leader, Grace, she taught me this song on my crew on a mentally tough day for me of the trip. And it goes, Heidi my, everything is kapai. You're here at last, you really are here at last. Heidi my, everything is kapai. You're here at last, you really are here at last. So Heidi mai means welcome in the Māori language, and kapai means good. So everything is kapai translates to everything is good. The words, you're here at last, you really are here at last. It reminds me of the moment I stood tired, sore, sunburnt, ready to give up, ready to go home, standing on top of the mountain in the Kahurangi National Park near Nelson, New Zealand. And I thought of you all, I thought of my people, I thought of the first people who, across different tribes. I thought of my family, I thought of the women who have raised me, thought of powwows and fry bread and culture. I thought of my language, and I remembered how resilient and proud I felt to be Native in that moment. Nobody in my family has ever traveled outside of the United States, and I went alone, so I felt that I did it for young girls who want to venture out in the world but who are afraid. I was afraid, but I did it, and it's one of the memories I call on whenever I need strength, especially in times like this with the pandemic. So today, I hope that you are inspired by my story, and remember that although things aren't so kapai in the world, we're present in this moment together. Haere mai, you're here at last. You really are here at last. Ashon, Ahea, and thank you for your time and letting me share your story. My name is Angela Noah, and I am the Miss Indian University of Oregon, and it's an honor to be here with you all. So thank you.
Oh. Thank you, Angela. We appreciate you. We love you. Keep doing what you're doing. You're an inspiration. And yeah. And thanks for getting Travis on here. Trav, yay, Trav. All right, guys, so we have one of our own coming up next, Miss Bonnie Lockhart, my boss, my local artist in the office. She's gonna share some of her work and talk about her inspiration. So just give her a minute, she's setting up.
So hi, everybody. I'm really happy to share with you today. I jumped on, I had to run a little errand, and I jumped on my car, and I realized that one of the pictures I'm going to show you was in my profile picture. So I don't show my art very much. I gave most of my art away, and then my art kind of lives at my house. And then if you work with me, then you'll probably see my art. So that's how it works. So this is one that was in my profile picture momentarily. And I think this one I painted in 2015, 2016. I was getting used to painting large pictures. I don't know if you can see it. And I called it Always Sacred, Always Here, Always Home, because I feel like a lot of times, I was living in the Bay Area at that time, and I feel like what I noticed was that so many of the places in Berkeley were built over. I mean, there's so much of that land there that like there's buildings on top of, there's like industry on top of, and it got me thinking a lot about like the fires that we had here, and like how a lot of the fires up north like uncovered a lot of things that haven't been looked at in a long time because there were buildings on top of them and industry. And so I started painting a lot of things that related to like, even if we build stuff over our waterways or over our mountains, like the basket designs or like the kind of different designs that I painted in here, they're not really organized, because in a way I felt like it was like kind of the still uncovering stage of like when we're reconnecting with that. So that's what this was. And it was the idea that like, even if we put a building over something, the land that we are from is always here. The ocean's still there. The trees are there. There's like a whole world that goes on without the modern world.
Yes.
And then this is a picture that I stopped painting on. I'm just trying to make my thing bigger so I can see myself. Okay, there we go. This is like redwood trees, but I was really trying to show them burnt. Like it was really important to me that like I painted like the redwood trees as if they're burnt. But then like during the fires of 2017 up here, I kind of got busier helping people than painting. So I stopped painting the trees, but I'm planning to kind of finish this. And I don't know what that means yet, so I just kind of keep it around. And I just think it's really beautiful, even when the redwoods get burnt, like they grow back, and like a baby tree usually pops out and there's new leaves. And I don't know if you've ever had the opportunity to touch a redwood tree when it's young, but like the texture of the leaves is so special. I just love it. So I sometimes will put my face on them because I just love them so much. So this is kind of still coming to be, and I'll finish it, but I'm really trying to challenge myself to make bigger pieces of work. That's kind of like what these are. And then I heard Brandon talking earlier about the pandemic, right? It's hard not to think about it. And I think that something that was a real blessing for me during the pandemic was participating in the California Indian Museum's workshops, and specifically working with Mio Marufo on some of her workshops. Like her workshops were so rewarding for me because I was able to set aside time to do things I really wanted to learn, but didn't have the time to in the midst of my day-to-day. My fingers get so busy typing and writing and talking, they don't get to be nearly as much as I'd like to. So I want to share a pendant that I made with Mio. So this is like my first pendant that I made with Mio, and it's an acorn, a green acorn. And I attempted like a quail top pattern. And then I was sent beads for my acorn, but they were the wrong color for my, like they were supposed to send me green and they sent me brown. So I had to run around my house and find beads that like I had. Thank goodness I buy beads like for no reason, right? So I have so many, and I ran around my house and I found the colors I needed to make this necklace. And I'm planning to gift this necklace because it's my first one to one of my younger cousins. And I'm kind of just waiting for the time to do that, but I made it with them in mind. So I'm looking forward to gifting it to them. And then I also made this with Mia. This was another CMCC workshop. And it's a pine nut necklace with abalone. All of these beads from Bead Fever here in Ukiah, the native owned bead store here. And it was cool to do this workshop because I worked with pine nuts before, but I've never drilled them without a drill. I've never done them like with sandpaper and then pushing through and then taking the time. My younger sister Sequoia is really good at that, but that's not something I do very often. So I did that, and again, I'm gonna give this to a younger cousin of mine when the time is right. And then I've been working on a gift for my grandma. I had kind of wanted to do it in time for her birthday. She turned 95 this summer, but I'm almost there. I want to make sure it's how I want it, so I'll give it to her when I'm ready, as well as like these. So this is a basket I'm working on for my grandma, and I'm beading it with size 11 beads, kind of pendant style, and kind of playing with how the beads match up. And I'm planning to put it in a frame because my grandma, you know, she sits on her couch most of the day. She's not gonna wear a pendant probably. So I'm planning to like put it in this frame for her. I'll just kind of show you the idea. So that she can look at it, she can set it next to her like on the couch and she can look at it, or she can put it on her photograph mantle and look at it. And I also want her to be able to touch it. I've beaded with my grandma like at her house, and I've sat next to her while she watches TV and I'm beading, and she's like, "Are you almost done? How many did you put down?" You know, she asks like so many like sweet questions that I want her to be able to like touch it and ask me questions. And so I took the glass out of this frame because I didn't need it, because it was supposed to be able to be touched, because it will be something that's there you go, that's special to her. So I'm excited to give this to her soon-ish. And then this is another project that I've been learning. Christina Tatilpa at CMCC taught me how to peyote stitch like in grad school. This is my first peyote stitch that Christina taught me. And very interesting process. But I've been working with delicates, which are, in my opinion, a lot easier to make fit. And so Bear Ford taught me how to peyote stitch again. And I've been working on this pen slowly. So those are some of my projects that I've been working on, and I'm really excited just to continue to bead. And anybody out there who wants to bead and learn, like, I'm happy to show you a thing or two, or if you want to bring your beading project over to our building here. We're now at a new building for Sherwood at 48 Madrone in Willits, and we have space. So if you want to sit down and bead or hang out or weave or do some cool stuff or talk, we're here. So thanks.
Oh.
Oh.
All right, so I have a couple submissions that came up today and this morning, so I'm gonna share my screen and get those up and running for you guys.
Twinkle, twinkle. It's a sparkle little star.
What's up, Smith?
It might be sharing the screen instead of the one that you just started. It only shares one that you select.
Okay.
So you might have to go back and stop screen sharing. Just select the one you want to share. Because I did that the other day. Is that it? No, movies, TV?
I should actually see it.
I think.
You
might want to ask them.
Can you guys see?
Because that might be the one that they can see.
That's your birthday.
Can you guys see that?
Yeah, we can see it and we can hear it too.
All right, cool. So this is Luella Miranda. She's an elder here on our reservation. So she sent this in with her grandson, right? Grandson Norm, Fred. He's not feeling really well today, but they recorded this earlier and they wanted to share it with us. So I'm gonna play it right now.
Twinkle. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I went to with you. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, little star, how I want to soar. Yay!
Aw.
I say pancake, what you had. Make me a cake as fast as you can. Roll it. Roll it and put it in the pan. You miss. 5 little monkeys jumping on the bed. One fell off it, bumped his head. Mom told doctor said, put that monkeys back in the bed. Yay! Yay, Grandma! Yay, Norman! Say happy birthday to you, no more Mom. Happy. You sing with me, Grandma? Happy birthday to Mom. Happy birthday to Mom. Happy birthday, dear Mom. Happy birthday to Mom. Yay! Yay, Grandma! Say, happy birthday to Norman. Your turn to sing with me. Birthday to Norman. Happy birthday to you, bird. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday. Okay, let me take a picture. Take a it.
So that was Luella and Norman. This one?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Presentation. So can you guys see this one okay?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is Luella's sister, Nora. She's also a tribal member, one of our elder to me. She sent this to me last night. She wanted to be here today, but she couldn't because she's actually going to Oakland to see her baby granddaughter. She's in the Oakland Children's Hospital. And so this doll she made, it's called Little Fighting Spirit. She found the doll and she wanted to hand make and hand sew the dress and all the patterns and stuff. And so I just put a little blurb here. Nora's baby granddaughter is sick and in Oakland Children's Hospital at the moment. Little Fighting Spirit is the name of the doll. We'll be going back to Oakland to bring strength and healing to our little one. If you could please say a prayer and keep her in our thoughts. Thank you. And so, yeah, Nora found this doll and she started gathering materials to make it and hand stitch. And as you see it progress, she's doing all this artwork and all this craft, and she even handmade the necklace that you see on the right side of the screen, which is really awesome and really great. I know she was emotional and she's really sad and hurting right now. But I thanked her a lot and for sharing this with me, and let me share it with you guys. So on this last page right here on the right, that's the final product, and Little Fighting Spirit will be making its way to Oakland for Nora's baby granddaughter. So if you could say a prayer and keep her in your thoughts. I know it's a hard time right now, but Nora still took the time. She wanted to be a part of this and share with us. So.
Oh.
Oh.
Buffy, are you back? I think she's still at the candidate forum. I could go next. I wrote a couple poems. I used to write poems back in high school, but I actually made a couple recently that I want to share with you guys. Let's see. So if you don't know me, my name is Gabriel Ochoa. I'm Carmen Ochoa's son, one of her sons, her middle son. I'm Caddo and Sherwood lineal descendant, and I'm Hispanic. Not enough to be on the tribe, but enough to feel like I'm part of the tribe, which is really, really important to me to embrace that Native American heritage and support my community I live in, and that's why I'm working here at Sherwood today and now. So this poem, it took me a while to come up with it, but it hits right at home. And I called it Not Native Enough because it seems like in today's world and our community, a lot of, well, myself, I had to go through this and figure out what it meant. And I was hurting when I wrote this, but I'll say it for you guys. So it's called Not Native Enough. And it goes, my own people don't even recognize me, all because not enough native blood degree. It's not about the status or the money you see. It's about finding where my heart should be. My soul of life says I am Native American. Why can't my tribe accept me for who I am? I can't change the past, only look to the future. Maybe one day I will finally learn my culture. So that one, it hurts to say, but it is true. Like nowadays, all the young kids coming up, they're all mixed. And growing up, I was able to participate in a lot of tribal events, but struggling with not having that tribal ID and being identified by the government as Native, it still hurts. But I'm surrounded by good people in a good community. And that's why I wanted to come back and be here and share my love and my passion for helping the Native American community grow. I'm thankful for all the relationships I have with the elders and starting to have with the youth. But that's one of my toughest poems, but I had to get that out, right? I couldn't hold that, I had to let that go. And then I wrote one last night for you guys. So this one's a little different. So this one is called Love is Water. I just came up with it and I wanted to share it with you guys. So water comes in all forms, but so does love. Water can be intense and crazy, but so can love. Water can be calm and peaceful, but so can love. Water can be unpredictable, but so can love. Water is amazing, and so is love. So love water. Yeah. So I used to write poetry a lot, and don't really have the time to do that to express myself anymore, but starting to learn, try to get back to those ways. So thank you guys for listening and let me share with you guys. And most importantly, thank you for showing up today. It's good to see the community come together, all the different communities coming together, putting together this show. There's a lot of skill, there's a lot of talent in this community, and I want everybody to know and see that it's still here. And it's not going anywhere. I mean, Sterling even took the time out of his day. It's like, hey, come record me. I'm like, I'll be there. No problem. And the fact that he's not here, but he still wanted to share is great. Him and Nora and Luella. So, Yeah. Oh, thank you for listening. And I'm gonna pass this to Sabrina.
I'm gonna do it. Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Oh. Okay. I'm gonna take off my mask.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Almost on me. No, sort of. It just needs to turn. There we go. Come this way. Sorry, our camera is a little slow sometimes. It's working on it. Okay, so I also paint, but I'm not very good at presenting my art. I can teach it and I love teaching it, but I don't like talking about it if I've not taught what I'm showing. And so I started painting watercolor in kindergarten because I went to a very arts focused school. So I've had many years of practicing, and it started with like finger painting and watercolor. And now I really like to paint birds. So here are my birds that I like to paint. And I have no idea why. Usually I like to paint landscapes, but birds recently, I think it's the pops of color that I like to do. And I like doing blurry backgrounds. So these are 2 cards that I've made for my mom and my dad, apparently for Mother's Day and Father's Day, probably the same year. A couple years ago. But yeah, I just really like bright colors. So I have one more I can show you guys. But I'm very into bright colors. And so the more I can paint them, the more I do. So this is one of my pieces that's in acrylic paint, which I did not like doing. And then I got hired to teach it. So I have to learn to like it. And I actually really love it now because it helps me paint really brightly. With watercolor, you have to really apply a lot of layers, which is partly why I like doing it. But with acrylic, it just comes out almost immediately this bright. So this is one of the pieces that I was learning how to do acrylic on. And I sat actually in a class for the job that I was about to teach a couple months later. So yeah, I use my art as kind of a decompressor, I guess. There's so much dust on this. I don't really make pieces for any particular reason, unless it's a birthday card or a Mother's or Father's Day card. But usually my art is where I zone out and just process my days or my weeks. It's kind of escape to a whole new little bubble of existence somewhere. So yeah, I have others, but I don't watch.
That's fine.
It's beautiful.
Oh, Sabrina, thank you.
oh.
Oh.
All right, well, at this time, everybody that signed up has presented. If anybody is here that wants to present, they can unmute and present or sing or dance or do any art. If not, if anybody wants to chat, we're here for you. If you have any questions, any things, any prayers you want to say, the floor is open.
I just want to say thank you for doing this, and I hope you guys do it more often, you know, once a month or once every other month, because it was a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for the suggestion. We have fun too.
Thank you for listening to me.
Thank you, Kenneth.
Thank you for sharing.
Your artwork is amazing, and your story was very powerful.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I hope you'll share more
I
with
liked
us.
I like everyone else's work too. I don't know how to work this thing, or else I would have said something about it. I'll get used to it eventually.
That's a beautiful picture. That I love. Wow.
Yeah, we can definitely do this more often, and we're available too to help people kind of feel more comfortable with Zoom. We're here and we can help with feeling comfortable.
Yeah, here, yeah. It's over there, I think. Got it right there.
Trav, you want to do our closing circle? Are you still there?
Want to show us Bean?
Wanna show us Bean?
Hold on, I gotta find her.
Grab a tennis ball. I hear she likes those.
Bean.
Come to the camera. Come say hi. Yay!
Yeah,
Oh my
Bean! Stole the show.
Yeah.
This is Cocoa Bean. She's my miniature dachshund and my best friend. She's kept me through this last couple days. I've been really sick, but I was able to get out of bed. If you guys look at me, I look rough. I'm so sorry. But the COVID shot is tough and really knocked me down and out. But I feel better today, and I was glad to be a part. And sorry for not being there to help and support, but you guys know I'm there in spirit. And so is Bean. Say hi, babe. She wants to throw a tennis ball all day long, but I don't want to. But yeah, I just thank you guys, and this was a beautiful event. I agree with Melanie, you know, maybe we should look into doing this maybe every other month and just have it be a sharing circle maybe, or I don't know. It was really cool not having, sorry guys, not having to work, but having to sit back and kind of watch it. You guys did amazing. Gabe, you did really good, you know, talking and helping with the, you know, malfunctions of people not being able to get the volume unmuted or muted. And you guys really did that great. And all three of you presenting, I think is awesome. You guys are all little artists in your own way and beautiful people. And I love being able to work with you guys. But yeah, hopefully I will be there Tuesday.
We'll feel better, Pat. Thanks for sharing with us.
Yeah.
No problem.
You're always with us. You're here, obviously, you're on Zoom doing what you do. You're still supporting. So
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Bean, love me.
I just want to share that I didn't get to see all of Melody's presentation, but I know she talked about some basket weaving materials and styles, etc. But I just wanted to share that when I got into basket weaving, I was 13 years old, and my mom, Christine Hamilton, sat me down for the first time. And being 13 years old and a pubescent adolescent, I was not a good child to be around, and we didn't get along at all, me and my mom, even though I'm the only daughter. And I want to share this because I know there's a lot of girls out there and young boys that may be struggling. And I just want to give hope that there can always be something better, and that you should always think positive, especially about yourself, because the things that you say to yourself matter. You know, if you keep talking to yourself like, you know, my mom doesn't even like me, my dad is passed away, or they're drinking, or they're paying attention to the baby, or paying attention to the grown-up person, you know, that comes and goes. It doesn't always stay with you, because there's always good times and bad times. And so I struggled a lot when I was growing up. I had a lot of tough years during my growing up, young life, and then living on Noyo in Fort Bragg, and then I passed away, and then I moved with my mom at Yokeo for my teenage years, and I could not wait to get out of the house. But she did plant the seeds, thankfully, and there's a happy ending. We got closer as she got older, and she would still, you know, bring me in. I lived in Santa Rosa for 36 years, moved away. That wasn't very far, but it was far enough for me and her. But we still saw each other. I still came up a lot, and she would have stuff going on and always, you know, try and include me. She's a very good mentor for a lot of young people around here. So I'm grateful that I get to hear a lot of these good stories. But we did get closer as she got older. We sat down and talked about language and the old days and the old ways of doing things and her life on the reservation. And so I never got a chance to gather with her, but she told me how to gather. I'm grateful that my cousin Melody, my cousin Hook, my aunt Patricia Augustine, and my cousin Misty and her son Alfred was there the very first time I went to go gather sedge. So sedge for us, the place that they took us to, or took me to, was at the Navarro River. And the sedge, I don't have a picture of the plant, but the sedge is a root. I'll just go over it really quick, the materials used, and I'll flip my camera because I have a little setup here. Okay, so here is the raw sedge. That is what it looks like pulled out of the ground. And this is not very a good size to go with, but it's probably about a foot long. And then I split it, peel it, process it. And then this here I gathered at actually Jan McGordy's in April 2019. It's important to mark your materials because you always, as a basket weaver, want to be gathering. And of course, if you're always gathering, you want to mark it so that you know that it's ready to weave. And all of my materials, I try really hard to wait that 1 year to get them to dry. They're full of water, and it's better for the materials to dry because your basket will shrink or become to form in some way. So this is sedge, and it is a root, and we had to get on our hands and knees and use modern tools. In the old way, the tools that were used was probably bone and shells. Mussel shells especially are good for digging. And this is redbud. This is a very small sampling of redbud. This is not the size that I would really typically use for a basket, but it's a good one that I show for classes and for teaching. And then this is how you would process this. It takes a lot of skill and talent and patience to get the bark off and to be this thin. And I didn't do it very well right off the bat. I like to play with my hands with things, but that's not one thing that I was good right off the bat. And then here's some of the finished product. This here is a sedge basket. It's not very big. You see my hand. It's not, it looks kind of big, but it's not that big. And I put a tea light there so you could see use it as scale. Yeah. So, and then here is a beaded basket that I made, and there's the inside. This is all sedge. And Pomo people are known for their basketry, and it is a skill. And I guarantee any Pomo out there that can see this, you are come from a long line of great basket weavers. We had to use baskets for all things and all ways of life. 100, 150 years ago, as early as that. I don't think of that as history because if my father were alive today, he would be in his 90s. And although he's been passed for a long time, the things that happened and the things that I've seen with him just are, they come to the forefront in my mind. It's not like it's a history lesson or in the textbooks or in the way that they depict us in the movies, etc. To me, that's all current in my life. I think of that stuff. It comes to me, right away. These are just pine needle baskets. I'm going to pull those out and then pull this basket out. Yeah, it's just a couple of generations back. And then here's a small one. That's how small that is. My hand looks really big. It's not really that big. And I have some root here. And what I find when I'm gathering and doing these basket weavings is, everything is intertwined. You can't go out and gather these basket weaving materials and not go and see medicine, to see acorns, the traditional foods that we have, and even the grassy moss that grows on these trees are used for bedding in the babies' baskets. Everything you see out there that is indigenous to this area is something the Pomos use. There's lots of medicine out there. And here's a canoe style. This is raffia though. This is not the sedge, but it's still really, really time consuming. And here's another one too. That's called a canoe basket. And that's called a Romeo. Just kidding. And then here I have this is a sedge basket. It was this is just kind of a miniature replica of something that they would use for cooking. And if you couldn't see through it, I see that you could see through it, it would be used to put hot rocks in and then cook that acorn mush. That's not a water holding basket. These types were the coil basket. This is a coil basket. This is a twined sedge basket. And then here I have a couple works in progress. Always putting some type of basket together. Today I spent a lot of time putting little baby cradle kits together for my other teaching. Well, that is red bed and sedge, and that's just sedge. I haven't decided what type of design I'm going to put in it, if any. So that's the first type of basket. There's other materials that go into the coil baskets. There's bulrush and woodwardia. And so now I'm going to move on to the cradle baskets. This is a full-size cradle basket. I have it still tied off right here. And just to show you the size of it, this is a full-size one. It's going to somebody whenever she comes over and picks it up. Right next to it is a pair of earrings. And you can see how small those are because I put an acorn right next to it. And that's not the real material. That's not willow. The cradle baskets are made out of willow. This one has willow and reed. It's a little bit bigger. And then I make rattles too, just because I like to be innovative. Yokeo people are very innovative. That's not to say Sherwood Valley isn't, because I'm also Sherwood Valley and Noyo. I just like to, I don't know, bend the rules, push the limits, I guess, it's just my nature. That's the cradle baskets. That's a whole different kind of burden basket, because, burden basket doesn't necessarily mean that it's bad. It's just just a word that can mean useful or working or utility. We carried our babies in these. And here's another one that I made. This is not a pocket, but it's Maidu or Karuk flat cradle board basket, that's the word. And I made that in a class. Just to a lot of the same materials that we use in pomo basketry. But I just made that because it was, I don't know, I just feel like whatever I can learn is useful to me in my life. And then we'll go over to the last type of basket, and these are the twine baskets, and these are the ones that are that we use most and we see the most in everyday life. Maybe not in museums because these didn't last long. This is typically this would be either a fish basket or a bird catching basket. I just have some walnuts in here just to show another use for it. And I put like this piece of leather lace on it because I can hang it, but I usually keep it and bring it to classes. And this one is a type of sieve basket, but it is kind of big to be a sieve, but it can be used for that. You can store acorns in there too, because it's very airy, and acorns need to have a lot of circulation to them. And these are, like I said, all, actually this is a gray willow basket. Gray willow and is very flexible, just like hazel. used for twining, and or you could use that in cradles too. And this is another gray willow basket, and this one is just a storage. I would just put I could put acorns in here. I could put walnuts, any nuts. You can go gather berries in this, and these are the type of things that you would go out and use purposely when you were out gathering. We are hunters and gatherers, don't forget. Here is another one. This is the one my mom made. It's very old, which it looks like I made it last week. It's well cared for. It's beautiful. It's got a lot of orange and browns in it, and can be used for hanging. Like she put string on it so you can hang it to keep the varmints off of it. And I'm just talking about if you lived in a in the old way out in the wilderness. And these are useful things to know too, because you never know if that may or may not happen again. And this is a basket that Brandon and I made. We're part of the Pomo Weavers Society, and we get tasked to do certain things. And these are seaweed baskets. There's mine, and there's his. It's kind of shallow, you see that? Because you go out and get the wet seaweed, pull it off the rocks with your hand, and then put it in this basket, and then kind of shake the sand off as you keep gathering the seaweed. And once that's clean, you could put it in another basket or whatever you brought with you. And then this one's a bit bigger. It looks really huge, but that is actually only 17 inches across. I measured it, 1.5 feet approximately. So that's the 3 types of baskets. And there's one that my mom had made. That one's the biggest basket I think I have. And then over there, I've got a couple of quail catchers and the Brennan made. And then over here, excuse me, kitty cats, is another cradle. And I just wanted to show you this one really quick because this is a little reed basket that I made, and I was teaching a class and was left over with the top part there. And we were done with the class, and then I just decided to make it into something, and it's a little hot air balloon basket. So
Chimes on.
put little people in it.
Yeah, chimes a little.
Okay. That is the whole presentation. And then again, like I said, I just wanted to let people know that I'm living in a very, very traditional way. I go out and gather a lot, medicine, mugwort, bahem, bachula, angelica root. And these things are intertwined. It's culture, it's art. Our art is our culture. And I'm lucky to be able to live like this. And I appreciate all the support of my family and friends. And thank you for taking the time to let me show my collection and talk a little bit about my upbringing. Yeah, we.
Oh. Yeah.
Oh.
Thank you. Thank you for
You're
sharing.
welcome.
We appreciate it. It was awesome.
Mhm.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate this this forum too, that you're able to do this. Me and Brandon had a great time. I wish I could have sat and watched the whole thing. Just
Yeah.
a timing thing.
We recorded it, so we're gonna be able to share.
Nice.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your Saturday afternoon. I appreciate you all.
Bye, Buffy. Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
True, baby. Nice job.
I'll come together.
Is this still recording?
Okay.
Okay.
No. I don't understand. follow up.
Yeah.
Just try to.
Okay, you guys.
All right, well, thank you guys for coming to our Show Us Your Skills talent show. We appreciate everybody that came and showed their artwork, their singing, just spending time with us. It's really showing what our community has and what people love to do, and we could just share it with you guys. We hope to plan to do more things like this, and if you want to be involved with us in any way, you can call the travel office or reach out to us on social media. I just want to thank Bonnie for being here with me. It's been great. It's been really great doing all this fun work, and I'm so happy to be in this community working with everybody.
Oh.
Peace and love, baby.
See you next time. Bye.